What type of assets should I be investing in? Hi, I'm Tim Diesel, I'm a commercial real estate consultant, and today I'm going to be talking about what types of assets you should be investing in. And I don't like to use the word should, so I'm going to give you some options based on my opinion. We're going to break a few of them down. So you can invest in whatever makes you comfortable, but we're going to break some things down. So I've had a handful of questions about, I only have $10,000, what can I invest in? I only have $5,000, I'm a new investor, what do you recommend? So this is interesting because what ends up happening many times, a more sophisticated investor and someone who's been doing this for a long time, they can make deals happen all the time. And what I feel sometimes when I hear their messages, and you guys have seen all these big boys, I don't have to name drop, there's not a whole lot of relation. So I think they miss that relationship status between the rookie investor, more the novice type, and the expert. So the expert sees things as very, very easy. And so I understand sometimes when I get your questions, I totally get it. I'm definitely going to try to get to the same level everyone's on and just try to help you as best as I can. Now, if you've been doing this for a while and you're very good, you're aware you don't really need any money to create an investment. You just don't. You can buy a business without any money. You can buy a building without any money. You can really write your own ticket. And that's the level I want all of you to be at eventually. That's the best place to be. You see a deal, you can make it happen, and it's like clockwork. Very, very simple. Now, it won't necessarily be the $50, $60 million deals, right? You got to be at your own level. I'm not doing $100 million deals. It just kind of depends on what you're doing and what you're comfortable with and the lifestyle you want. Now, if this is your very first investment and you have $10,000, well, the truth is, unless you possess that skill, you really can't do a whole lot of damage with that little money. You can get the ball rolling, right? You can pay for the inspection fees and small stuff to cut checks to EPA phase ones. You can do some things to get things going. But the truth is, it's very difficult to do a whole lot unless you have a whole lot of money, or you know some people, other investors, maybe you can make some things happen. So there are some things you can invest in. Now, obviously, I'm not for or against the stock market investment, but most real estate people, they don't typically invest in stocks, right? Because you can't control it. So my philosophy is if you can't really control something, you shouldn't be investing in it. Because, how is it fair that you buy into a stock and some guy cheats on his wife, now it's your problem, your stock goes down? That makes no sense at all to me. So I've never gotten into that, but I know there's people that made fortunes in stock. It's just not for me. So you could do something like that. Maybe that could be, there are probably people online you can follow that way if that's easier. Quicker liquid cash, that's one option. Maybe if you were going to invest in metals, solid assets, I do that a lot. I'm not telling you what to invest in, but you really can't go wrong with something like that. You have real money, tangible assets. You can buy stuff you already own, like your car, small things like that. You could always leave money in the bank, which I've suggested that to so many people. Don't worry about inflation right now. You're going to lose a lot more from a bad deal than a few inflation percentage points. So you could also buy different types of real estate, right? You could buy a single family home. You could buy a larger building. Just kind of depends on what you're doing. You can also invest in businesses. Maybe you could buy a business. It depends on what you do. So there's all kinds of things you can get into. But number one, what are you good at? What does your background tell you to do? If you're a school teacher, you're not going to necessarily want to go out and start a restaurant. It doesn't make any sense. If you've lived in an apartment most of your life, you can probably relate to buying apartment buildings. So don't just look at what makes the most money. No, it's what makes the most sense. What can I handle? What can I deal with? So really, you don't need a whole lot of money to buy real estate. You really don't. You just need to partner up with the right people. I've done videos on how to find a team, how you can build them out, how to find investors. I actually recommend you don't find investors on your first couple deals because that puts a lot of pressure on you. I've done my first couple of deals with investors and I did not know what I was doing. And the issue I had was trying to explain everything, and I had to give up a lot of the pie. Now, luckily for me, it worked out. But if you're trying to navigate through these waters and figure everything out, it's very tough. So I always recommend doing the first couple of deals by yourself. And that's the opposite of what everybody tells you. Everybody else tells you go into a big deal, partner up with somebody. Do the first deal by yourself. Get a mentor to help you. Don't do it all on your own. Get someone who knows what they're doing. Pay them however you have to. Say, hey, listen, guide me through this. There are people out there that have done these deals. But I would not go in there your first couple of deals, try to raise $1 million, and you haven't even closed the deal yet. That's kind of risky, what I would say. But there are different things you can invest in. There are different ways you can do it. I definitely say invest in some kind of course, some kinds of seminars, things like that. Now, obviously, I'm not selling you anything. This is just for you, but there are more things. And I have had people ask for something more of a deep dive. I've not come up with something yet, but I will. I'll definitely get something to help you guys out. But educate yourself on some things. Buy some books on this topic. Follow some people around. Ask them what they do, how they do it. Really don't think that you're defeated because you don't have enough money. You just need the knowledge to do it. You could always borrow, depending on how that works for you. So I hope that was helpful. If you guys have any more questions, definitely let me know and help you out. Thank you.